Question 17 says a quarter of £9.60. And I've written down the quarter as a fraction there. One thing we said before, a quarter of something, if you're finding a quarter of something, that's exactly the same as dividing by 4. You can extend that. If you were trying to find a fifth of something, you would divide by 5. If you're trying to find a third of something, you'd divide by 3. So this question we've got here, a quarter of £9.60, is the same as £9.60 divided by 4. So we're going to do a divide for this question. And we can get rid of the decimal point to make it easier. £9.60. We could change it to 960p. We've done that before. This time I'll keep it in and show you how to deal with that. So we're going to use the bus stop method. My £9.60 goes inside, the 4 goes on the outside. And as before, when I'm doing a dividing sum, I'm going to write down the 4 times table. If you don't know it, you write the 4 down and you add on 4, counting on your fingers if necessary, to get this done. Somehow you need to write down the 4 times table. So my first question is 4s into 9s. 4 goes into 9 twice, because 2 4s are 8. So 4 goes into 9 twice, and from 8 to 9 there is a remainder of 1. That will go there. 4 into 16. 16 is in my list, it's the 4th thing down. So 4 goes there. And 4 into nothing doesn't go at all. That's nothing. I put a 0 up there. Because my question had a decimal point here, my answer needs a decimal point there. So my answer is 2.40. And because this was a money question to start with, I'll make sure I put a pound sign in here. My answer to that one, £2.40. So we're getting towards the end. Question 18 was 3/4 of 32. Well, from what we said a minute ago, if I had to find 1/4 of 32, that would be the same as doing 32 divided by 4. Well, if you can find 1/4 of something, to get 3/4 of it, you then times the answer by 3. So to get 3/4 of 32, I do this, or this because they're the same, and then I simply times that answer by 3. So what I'm going to do here is this first of all, 32 divided by 4. Now, 32 divided by 4, because it's a divide, I'm going to write down my 4 times table. So it's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. Well, there's the number I'm actually interested in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers down. So that means that 32 divided by 4 is 8. And again, if you didn't know your times tables, you could have got this by writing down 4 and adding 4 on by counting on your fingers to get 8 and doing it again and again. I don't want anybody giving up saying they can't do it. You can all count on your fingers. You can get these right. So I've got 32 divided by 4 is 8. And then I said, because I want 3/4, I need to times that answer by 3. So I need to do 8 times by 3. Hopefully you'll know it from your times tables, but if you don't, 8. Add on another 8, count up if you need to, you get to 16. Add on another 8, count up if you need to, you get to 24. And that will be the answer. 3/4 of 32 is 24. The next question, question 19, is 3.5 times by 12. Now there's a whole number here in a fraction. Just like we did some timesing and splitting up before, I'm going to split this 3.5 up into 3 and a half. And I'm going to times that by 12 using the grid. 12 3s. Hope you know it from your times tables. If not, 10 3s are 30. So 11 3s will be 3 more, 33. 12 3s will be another 3 on top of that. That would take you to 36. And then 12 halves. That means a half of 12. And that's the same, remember, half of something is dividing by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So half of 12 is 6, or 12 halves are 6. And now all you need to do to get the final answer is add those two numbers together, the 36 and the 6. Add those together, 6 and 6 is 12. 3 and the 1 is 4. It's 42. So the answer to that question, 42. So when you're timesing with fractions, split them up. 3.5 is 3.5. So we did 12 threes, 36. 12 halves, 6. Then added those together to get the final answer. Brings us on to our last question, question 20. Question 20 was £4.80 divided by 12 times by 7. So we've got to do this in two bits. First off, we're going to do that, £4.80 divided by 12. Divide, we'll use the bus stop. £4.80 divided by 12. And we need to write down the 12 times table to help us. If you know it, great. If you don't know it, write down 12 and then count on 12. Or if you don't want to count on 12, add on 10, which is easy, to 22, and then you need 2 more. That will take you to 24. Add on 10, 34, and another 2, 36. Somehow, even if it involves counting on your fingers, you'll need to write down the 12 times table. So, got my 12 times table written down. 12 into 4 won't go. 4 is smaller than 12, so 12 will not go into 4. Put a naught there. And if you put a naught there, this number always goes here. 12's into 48. 48 is in my list. It's the 4th number down. So it's a 4 that gets written there, and there's no remainder. 12 into 0 is 0. If there's ever a 0 here, it's always a 0 at the top. I had a decimal point here. I need a decimal point here. So my answer to the first part is in pounds, because that's what it was, 040. And that's the same as 40p. So now I've got to do that answer times by 7. I've got to do 40p times by 7. So if I'm going to do 40 times by 7, we can do that in the grid method as well if we want to. We can't split 40 up into anything, it's just 40. Not 40 and anything. But we can times it together. 7 4s are 28. If you don't know that, write down 7 4 times and add them up. And there's 1 naught here, so I write that down. So my answer is 280, and this will be in pence. But the original question was in pounds, and we said before, if you're converting pence to pounds, the decimal point has to come in 2 places from the end. So it's 2.80, £2.80. Right, now I've been through all of these 20 questions. What you need to do is make sure you can go through all of those 20 questions on your own and get them right. Now if you want to do that at home, which is what I want you to do, but if you want to do that using the videos to help you the first time, do it. Because that question paper is on the KLP class page, and you can go and print that question paper several times if you want to. You can have a go at it until you can get them right, because the answers to that are also on the KLP and they're in this video. And I've shown you how to answer all of these questions. There are other useful videos on our maths channel. If you go to YouTube, and when you're on YouTube, search for Maths 520. There's no space between them. Maths 520. If you want to know how to do something on decimals, for example, then search for decimals. Well, the other useful thing to search for is just the word how. If you actually went to YouTube and searched for Maths 520 and how, you get lots of how to do things videos, and those are very helpful. So, I've been through these questions. I hope parents can access this as well. Any feedback, please get in touch with me. Thank you.